The final seconds. Center Grove is state champion.
Amber Harris again, and she continues to roll.
Well, Phillips is a very good player and extremely intelligent.
For a national title, and the shot is good! And Ben Davis comes away with a 71-69 win.
Lawrence North is gonna win it!
Hello again, everybody. Josh Ayen with the MIC Network, ready to break down the third of our 4 regions in the Champion of Champions girls basketball tournament. First off, let's welcome our crew today. We've got Darrell Morton Jr. once again joining us, as well as 2 members of the North Central women's basketball coaching staff. We've got head coach DeeAnn Ramey, who coached the 2012 North Central Lady Panthers to a state title that year, as well as coach Kendall Kreinhagen, who was also the head coach for Rebuff back in 2004 and 2007 when they won their state titles. Let's get down to it. We are breaking down the Southeast region, and your number 1 seed in this one, the 2001 Cathedral Fighting Irish, finishing with a 29-1 record off a back-to-back state titles. We talked about them earlier in the Northeast region. They've got a bye in this one. They're taking on the winner of a play-in game, a first-round game between 1996 Center Grove and 2004 North Central. Some strong MIC competition going on there. And in the bottom half of this bracket, the number 2 seed in this region, the 2010 Ben Davis Lady Giants, the most recent state title team from the West Side. They're taking on the winner of a first-round game between 2015 Heritage Christian and the reigning state champion Lawrence North Lady Wildcats. Again, another strong region. Coaches, Darrell, what are your thoughts on this region?
Wow. That North Central team, I tell you, with Amber Harris at the height, you got Bree Bass, guard, went on to play at Tennessee. Amber obviously went to Xavier, played for the Washington
Minnesota.
Minnesota Lynx, yeah.
Lynx,
She
yes.
won 2 WNBA championships with the Minnesota Lynx. And, and then there was a good core group of really solid, hardworking. You got Maggie DePoy, you got Kelly Agnes. There are some really good players that were able to help out Amber and Bree Bass. But that's going to be a tough team. I mean, Amber Harris, what can you say about her? Her talents. She was hard to stop.
Yeah. And that's a young Amber Harris at that point. She was really tough.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was a junior that year, yeah. And that Center Grove team, you got to think, too, there weren't really a lot of senior standouts on that squad as well. I mean, the 2 biggest names that come to mind on Center Grove, you got Jennifer Martin and Liz Stansbury. They were only juniors at the time, both averaging double figures. I mean, Jennifer Martin, she was the leading scorer that year, almost averaging 18 points per game. I mean, coaches, do you remember anything as far as the talent level with that Center Grove team, the team that Joe Lentz would go on to lead to a state title?
Well, I got to play AAU against a lot of those girls. So I knew the talent level that they had. And then I went to the state championship game and watched them. And, Coach Lentz had those girls just believing. And they had played together since they were young. And it was something pretty magical to watch because they knew where everybody was going to be and when, they were going to be there. And defensively, they were just able to get after it. But like you mentioned, Liz Stansbury and Martin were just great leaders and really, really good basketball players. I actually was a teammate of Liz Stansbury's in college. And I was just in awe, of her abilities. So, to have her on that team just tells you just a little bit of how good they really were.
Yeah, they're a very well-rounded team, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, let's bounce down and look at 3 and 6. We have the most recent state champion. Of course, we know the names. We know what they were able to do. A lot of comebacks, a lot of close games, but they got it done against that 2015 Heritage Christian team. That would be a matchup to see. I'm telling you there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that 2015 team, when you have Ty Harris on that squad, and the country got to watch what she did at South Carolina, and those are the kind of things that she did. But you also had Caitlin Gilbert in there, who's at Notre Dame currently, and that team, that team was a really good team. I know Coach Ramey and I talked about them as well earlier today, and we had the opportunity. We never played against them, but we had the opportunity to scout because we knew whoever we were going to be playing, if they were playing Heritage, they were going to get good competition, and we knew we were going to see a good game. And then I'll let Coach Ramey talk about that 2020.
Yeah.
You talk about close games,
there, right?
Yeah. That I don't want to say, I tell you what, you've got to give it to Ayen because this year, moving forward, they just never gave up. They just, I think we've said it before, those three seniors in Ayen and Katie Davidson, and then Jayla Smith. They, I tell you, they just wouldn't let things go. They were just determined, and as behind or their determination and their willingness to just not give up and die led them through the way. I mean, we had them beat, and and unfortunately, their perseverance, we had some unlucky things happen in that game, but their perseverance prevailed and didn't give up. And I think the next game at the regionals, almost very similar to our game, Brownsburg had them beat, and they just never gave up and died. And so you have to give them a lot of props for that, for all that effort and attitude. And again, I think on any of the teams when it's senior oriented, I think you have to give a lot of merit to that because it's just seniors are a different story, and they're your leaders.
Absolutely. So that 3-6, that matchup will Ben Davis will await the winner 2010. So that would be a very potent team waiting for the winner of the 3-6 matchup as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then
on that 2010 Ben Davis team, you got obviously the biggest name that comes to mind. You got Bria Goss, who was only a junior that year, went on to win Miss Basketball the next year. Probably one of the other names that comes to mind would be Dee Williams, doing a really good job running the point on that team. I mean, coaches, obviously we have them ranked as a 2 seed here, and the 09 squad, we have them ranked as the top overall seed. Do you feel like this 2010 team, where do you compare them compared to that 09 team in terms of talent level?
Oh, wow.
Good reaction.
It's that's just unbelievably. Both teams are unbelievably talented. It's just I mean, their length, both teams, their athleticism, their speed, their intensity on defense. I mean, Stan had a run there for a while that was just unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I would have to say I think their defensive pressure, not to compare them to their 09 team, I mean, because it was practically almost the same team, but their ability to defend at such a high level is scary. Is scary because that pressure does not stop, and it doesn't matter who goes in and who goes out. You're getting that pressure in your face. And then you have, the talent of a Brie Goss and the talent of a Dee Williams. And then you have Coach Benj on the bench. Really makes for a tough matchup.
Yeah.
Let's look up
That's
top
gonna be
there.
tough.
The 2001 Cathedral team will await the winner of the 96 Center Grove North Central 2004 matchup. That Cathedral team was a pretty tough team as well in 2001.
Good luck, I guess.
When you got a dominant guard like you do in Webb, I mean, a team with a dominant point guard, that's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah. And again, kind of like that Lawrence North squad. I mean, they had a resiliency about them, but they had won. They had won before. But the thing too is a lot of those girls were multi-sport athletes, and at the time, the Cathedral volleyball program was also winning state titles. Mm-hmm. So you've got girls coming off winning state titles, winning another state title. And I tell you, that has a big effect when you've got kids on your team that have already experienced that championship. We had that at Brebeuf during our time there as well. Our volleyball team was winning state championships as well. And to be able to have kids in your program that already went through that, and the preparation, as Coach Ramey was talking about before, just going through it and being able to guide and lead everybody. And that's what Cathedral had there for a while, was just a really nice run.
Coach Kreinhagen, Coach Ramey, cannot thank you enough for joining us to help break down these regions. Fans, time to turn it over to you. Who deserves to advance out of this region? We're going to turn it over to you. Remember, vote on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages. On Instagram and Twitter, it is Mick Network Ayen. And then on Facebook, you can either vote by commenting on our posts or by voting on our Facebook story. So again, lots of different ways you can cast your votes and decide who you think should advance out of the Southeast region.